welcome to another episode of the Crispy Compact Communiqué, the quarantine 2020 form of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. I'm Rich Liebig,
I'm Michael Costanzo.
and yep, we're rolling right along here, episode 19 of still somehow doing the Crispy Noodle Podcast in this new world that we have here in 2020.
The show must go on.
Exactly. Yep. The show is running strong, and we're still here to deliver some interesting tidbits in sports, entertainment, and odd news. Thank you guys for tuning in onto this episode. We have a lot of topics to get to in sports and surprisingly in entertainment.
Yeah.
We've been lacking in the entertainment department, but this week we are coming up with some new topics to go over. And of course, odd news. So stick around for that as well. But before we get into all of those topics at hand, Mikey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. What can I say? I'm hanging in there. And I tried this new game. If anybody has a PlayStation, one of the free games this month for August is called Fall Guys.
Yes, it's free.
Free, yeah. It's a battle royale where you play these little Gumby characters. So the battle royale is where you play a match against like 59 other people, and it's basically a series of rounds that whittles it down until there's one person left standing. So a game like Fortnite is a battle royale, but this one is not a shooter. It's essentially you play as these little Gumby creatures, and you run obstacle courses, and every round like 10 or so people get eliminated. The last 10 people that don't cross the finish line get eliminated, and it's like ridiculous, Wipeout or American Ninja Warrior style obstacle courses. And because there's 60 people trying to run the obstacle course at the same time, it's just pandemonium. People are falling all over the place, characters are bouncing left and right. You can grab people and like throw them off the platforms. It's incredibly frustrating, but also incredibly fun. So if you're looking, and the rounds are super fast, a couple of minutes. So if you're just looking to kill a little bit of time, get a little bit of multiplayer action in there. If you have a PlayStation, go check out Fall Guys. It's like this huge phenomenon now. There's like millions of players online. People are loving it. It's crazy. It's great for like very shareable, funny video clips of ridiculous stuff that happens. So
Yeah, I got a chance to play it as well since it was the free game of the month.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I definitely played it for about an hour straight. And
It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it gets a little too frustrating in my opinion. Sometimes I'm just like, why? How am I so bad at this game? You know?
You know what it is? It's because every time you touch another player, because it's all physics based, the characters like crash into each other and like stumble around and like roll on the ground, and it's just, you feel like half the time you're not even like in control of your character.
Yeah.
But there are still some moments that are fun. A lot of rage inducing moments, a lot of hilarious moments.
Yeah. I'll say definitely download it and play it once and see what you think of it.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm glad I didn't pay any money for it. I'm glad it was a free game of the month.
Exactly. I wouldn't be playing it if I had to pay money for it.
Right.
But right now, it's like the new hotness. There's like 8 million players on PC. It was downloaded a couple million times on PlayStation. So if you want to get it in the latest fad, Fall Guys is it.
Yeah. So there you go. Check that out if you have PlayStation. It's free on PlayStation Plus.
So other than Fall Guys, what have you been up to?
Yeah, not really too much, craziness happening. Other than the fact, again, it's just been hot this past week. We finally had a break here in Philly tonight. It's actually a little bit, cooler that you can at least not sweat all the time. Because
That's always good.
I've just been sweating this whole week. It's not pretty. This body does not do good sweating. If anything, my background is appropriate. I should be near ice at all times. I need cold weather. I'm ready for fall and winter to come. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm over the heat.
Yeah. So, And I heard a recent prediction from the Almanac that says we're actually supposed to be in for an extended summer. Yeah. So if nature could not do that, I would be happy for.
Well, we're almost out of the thick of it.
Almost.
You know?
So we'll see. We'll get there in due time.
Yeah.
Speaking of ice, the hockey playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs are in full force. So we're showing our support for the Flyers, who earned the top seed in the Eastern Conference. So hopefully that's a good
Impressive.
Sign. Yeah, that's got to be, I know it's a shame that they don't have actual home ice advantage because, that would be nice if we could see some action here in Wells Fargo Center. But, we'll take what we can get. Watch the Flyers win the Stanley Cup during the coronavirus year.
It's a perfect opportunity for these teams to strike while other teams are sort of reeling about. Those few teams that can get their act together, it might be an opportunity for them. Yeah. But you're right. It would be our luck that something like that would happen in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
And none of the fans can actually see it in person or celebrate in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll get to that road if we get down to that road. So we'll update you if that does happen. But let's actually move into sports topics and some sports news that we want to talk about. And this one is kind of a follow-up from last week's episode because we were kind of getting the ball rolling on whether or not college football was in trouble. Well, we have our answer now because 2 out of the Power 5 conferences have decided to postpone the fall football season. They are the Big Ten and the Pac-12, which I don't know if you know your roster of conferences, but that means no Ohio State football, so nobody's saying the Ohio State, get out of here. And unfortunately for us here in Pennsylvania, no Penn State football. I know a lot of men who are they're distraught. They have no idea what they're going to do with themselves.
This is a big blow to sporting fans. I mean, Penn State and the Ohio State are 2 of the biggest and most popular college football teams out there.
It's so sad that Mikey's Kitchen is wailing in anguish.
I swear to God. I can't, these podcasts get harder and harder to do during the pandemic.
There you go. Your kitchen.
I don't know if anybody could hear that. That was the dishwasher groaning.
No, it was the dishwasher actually upset over no football for Penn State.
Yeah, it was just weeping, watery, soapy tears.
Your dishwasher's a huge Penn State fan.
I don't understand. They decided to do it right in the middle of recording. Anyway, I'm just gonna power through this. So
what year did your dishwasher go to Penn State?
By the sound of it, 1981 apparently.
Yeah, I think one of my cousins might have been in that draft class. I'll have to
ask them if they know the Costanzo dishwasher.
Yeah, because is the first name? I guess the last name's Costanzo, and the
last name is
Dishwasher.
Costanzo. The first name is what? Whirlpool? Kenmore?
Whirlpool.
Oh, they're useless over there. I don't know what they're doing. My parents.
Hey man.
Anyway,
we're a unique show here.
We really are. Well, we used to record, in the kitchen. It's a KitchenAid. Sorry. The official word came in. KitchenAid Costanzo.
We got the official challenge report.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Breaking news here on the Crispy Compact Communiqué.
God help us all.
Yeah.
So Penn State, Ohio State, no more football. This is a really big blow for college football, like we were saying. These aren't like no-name division. These aren't no-name conferences. These are big conferences, big schools.
Yeah. So we're talking about, major institutions that are at least postponing football for the time being. However, there's still
that means
some
cancel.
Yeah, cancel. Yeah, right. However, there is still resistance because the other 5. I just mixed power and 5 to make pive. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Pive.
I hope you guys are buckled in. We got a hell of a ride coming for you for the rest of the show.
The Fover Pive.
Yeah. The Fover Pive conferences.
The Fover Pive, yeah.
Yeah. The other Power 5 conferences is what I meant to say. The ACC and SEC are just going with the status quo, saying that, quote, plans remain unchanged at this time. So they're still on the fence. We'll see how that develops. But then arrogantly, we have the Big 12. They're kind of in the center of the country. That's like your Texas, your Iowa, that part of the country. They, however, insist that their season will go on as scheduled.
Well, good for them. That sort of makes sense for that area of the country.
I knew you would have something to say about that with Iowa.
Prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying. Prove me wrong.
Yeah. Well, and Texas too. That fits because we had Jerry Jones for the Cowboys say that he believes that the Cowboys games will be attended by fans.
They're going to have fans in that 100,000 person stadium.
Yeah.
In the pandemic.
So
that checks out.
What do you think, Mike? Are you? So here's the record. We got for the Power 5. We got 2 already postponing, 2 that are kind of neutral that haven't really made a decision yet, just quote unchanged, and then the Big 12 being stubborn, saying that they're going to go through come hell or high water. What do you think this is the overall state of college football?
In danger. I think give it 1 week after classes start and after they realize that they have nowhere near the type of control that professional leagues do over their players. Because if you think that professional leagues are having a rough go of it, I made this point 2 weeks ago or last week. College is a completely different beast because they're not just athletes. You can't just pen them into a bubble city and be like, there you go. This is your life. No, they're students. They're going to class. They're going to parties. They're living in dorms. They're living in fraternity and sorority houses where, they're sharing living spaces with 10, 20, 30 people.
Yeah.
They're going home to families and friends on the weekends or during breaks. It's going to be calamitous, I think. And I called it accurately last week. As soon as one raises their hand, the rest are going to raise their hand. Well, now, there was a coalition of students that said, we're not playing. And then all of a sudden, the very next week, 2 out of the 5 conferences say, yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
So, I think the college football season is in jeopardy right now because I think if another one goes, I mean, I don't know how college football, do they do inter-conference play or do they only play within their own conferences? Because it might be a scheduling issue.
Usually under a normal season, there are intra-conference games.
So how does this work now that 2 out of the 5 are no longer, because now we have scheduling issues.
Yeah, you're going to have to do a schedule of strict conferences. Just only play those. Only play the teams in your conference. Which also brings up this now interesting development because we have this kind of tug of war happening between the conferences that are postponing the season and those that still want the season to go on. No ifs, ands, or buts. So within the Big Ten, one of the colleges is Nebraska. And Mike, get ready to get on your high horse again and criticize people because Nebraska's head coach and their director of athletics are insisting that, quote, they can look for other options outside of the conference in an ESPN interview to have a season, which I don't think you can. But
what does that even mean?
This is, Mike, I'm telling you, this is something that is completely new ground that I don't think anybody ever thought would even be an option. But Nebraska insists that they can essentially jump a conference only a month away from when they plan to start college football, or just simply create their own college football schedule.
It's the Nebraska conference.
Yeah.
It's just them by themselves. I mean, if there's one thing that completely and perfectly encapsulates what 2020 means, it would be Nebraska. It is a rogue, moronic cowboy thinking that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want. That's not how the world works. And that's why we're in the messes that we always find ourselves in this year in 2020. Nebraska is a microcosm of the world in 2020. because this is what happens when entities think that they can do whatever they want to do. You know, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Two, it's dangerous. And three, it's completely egotistically short-sighted and arrogant to think that they can just do whatever they want, jump into another conference, start their own conference, just roam around the country aimlessly, playing football teams. What are they going to do? Like stroll into a state and just challenge the football team? We challenge you to a game. Like,
I challenge you to a duel.
like, yeah, what is this, the Wild West or like a samurai showdown? Like, what is happening?
Well, I hear tell you have a football team here. Let's settle this on the gridiron again.
Right, they slap him with the glove. I demand satisfaction.
Yeah.
Like, what, Nebraska? Get your act together. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Knock it off.
This is bizarre.
It's insane. It's insane.
The only parallel I think you could make this is maybe with Notre Dame, because Notre Dame is technically an independent school, but they have a affiliation with the ACC. So they play, I think, 4 or 5 games against the ACC, and that's how they can be eligible for a bowl game. But even then, that's worked out as like an individual contract with the ACC, and that's been something that had to be worked on, like legally. Like we're talking at this point, we're talking legally. I don't think you're allowed to do this, because if you just randomly jump conferences, the Big Ten is going to be like, "Why are we paying you money? You're willingly going against our orders."
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure there's a bunch of deals in place that this would violate. You know, I know next to nothing about how this aspect of college sports works, but you know, you have to imagine that the Big Ten would be annoyed, but also that the other potential receiving conferences to welcome this homeless team into their fold, that they would be annoyed that, like, you know, how does this affect, you know, the deals with all their teams, and how does this affect, you know, playoff standings or bowl standings? You know, like, how does this change the environment? Yeah. You know,
also, like that's another thing too. If you do this, there's all this craziness. If you do all this thing and you make a temporary alliance with one of the conferences, or you create your own schedule and you do all this hoopla, guess what? Still, at the end of the day, the NCAA and the bowl committee selection, the bowl committee still might not actually accept your season as a legit contender for a bowl game. So you still might be doing this all for naught. Like, why put up this entire fight if the conference that you're a part of has made a decision?
It's a farce. I don't know. I can't expect any actual traction on this. It seems ridiculous.
Yeah. It's too close to call to the actual planned season. They would have to get something finished in like 2 weeks. I doubt you're going to be able to do that. Other than just randomly, we're gonna have our own season, and whatever we do with it is whatever happens. It's so bizarre.
If I had to make a prediction, I would say that at least one more of the Power 5 conferences is going to drop out within the next few weeks. I think the holdouts will probably be the Big 12 and the SEC. Because the SEC, that's the big one, isn't it? Yeah, that's like the championship one, you know? And then the Big 12, they basically just said, there's no way we're canceling. I don't know anything about the ACC. I haven't even really heard much about them. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are they a smaller, big Power 5?
Well, I mean, they still have a good list of colleges. But anyway, we'll see. I think you're right. One of those 2 teams that are undecided as of now, I think they're going to fold as well. So yeah, hopefully that'll be enough to dismay.
Because once the dominoes start falling, then you can imagine the rest of the conferences just shrug their shoulders and go, okay, for who, for what? Yeah. You know, who are we playing? What are we playing for? All of a sudden, like it lacks meaning. Yeah. You know? So
we'll see how further developments happen, and whether or not Nebraska really goes rogue and creates their own random schedule, but we'll see. Yeah. An interesting dilemma that I never thought we would talk about here on the Crispy Compact Communiqué. Does a team have a right to just create their own season? We'll see if they actually go through with it. All right, now it's time to get to my favorite topic. Mike, get ready. Get your excited level cranked through the roof.
Oh yeah, right up to 11.
This past weekend was the PGA Championship, the first major event of the 2020 golf season, which is really weird. I just realized for the PGA Championship, because do you remember the PGA Championship was the one that was always just was jostled around a couple years.
That's right.
Yeah. Before a couple years ago, they were traditionally the last major. Then last year they got bumped to the second major of the year, and now with the coronavirus, they ended up being the first major of the year. So, congratulations, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they did it? Question mark. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Either way, as a golf fan, it seemed awesome that we had major championship golf back. So if the PGA Championship committee was the one to reap the awards, then so be it. Nevertheless, it was a lot of fun following this past weekend. Sunday, I always tell people, you got to at least watch Sunday. Sunday is always the fun round to watch, because that's when, we see the leaders. We see who's going to take a risk, who's playing it conservatively. And boy, this was crazy. Halfway through the rounds on Sunday, 7 golfers at one point were tied for the lead. It was
Wow, that seems like a very close match.
Yeah, it became essentially a horse race. Who was gonna finally break out? Who was gonna, do that one extra? Essentially, that's what it came down to. Who was gonna do that extra move? That little oomph, that little extra sauce that would,
Right.
push them forward. And we had our answer with Colin Morikawa, 23 years old. This was only his second major in his career. Hey, you know what? If you're hanging tough and you're hanging in there this far with only, 4, 5, 6 holes to go, why not throw a risk out there? And he did that. He did that first on the 15th hole. He nailed a birdie to start to separate himself from the field, but it was the shot at 16, which I have on my Twitter page if you want to see it. It's a par 4, but a manageable par 4, where a lot of the long drive golfers can get to the green in one shot. So Morikawa got his driver out, and he aimed for the green, and he hit one of the most clutch shots I've ever seen in major history. This is a par 4. He's hitting with a driver, and he lands the ball about 20 feet away from the cup. It is amazing.
I don't know anything about golf, but that sounds really impressive.
Yes. All right. To do this with a major championship on the line is amazing. And then he walks to the ball and sinks the 20-foot putt to go eagle.
I was gonna say, that's an eagle, man.
Yeah.
I feel like you never see that.
I mean, you see it, but usually you don't see it with 3 holes to go for the major, for a major championship on the line. Right. And he pulled it off, and he didn't look back after that point. At that point he had enough of a cushion to outlast all the other competitors and finish. Wow. And it's just a great story. He's only 23 years old. He is. I wanted to get this stat right. He is only the 4th person to win the PGA Championship before the age of 24 in the modern era. The only other people to do it: Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy.
Those are some pretty big names, I think.
Yeah, that's putting yourself in some elite company.
Yeah.
He also, with this round and the round he shot on Saturday, set a new record for the final 6 holes of the PGA tournament. He shot a 65 on round 3, a 64 in round 4. So that gives you 129 strokes. That's all he needed to finish out the PGA Championship, which is ridiculous. So props to him. He played just about a perfect 2 rounds of golf to win the PGA Championship.
So Is this like his big coming out moment where it's like all of a sudden there's another big name on the golf sphere that people have to keep an eye out for?
Exactly. Yep. To keep an eye out on Colin Morikawa. He was clutch.
What
That's the thing you really got to be to win a major is you got to be able to stay calm and collective and then hit those shots. And he did perfectly. It was
so
that shot on 16 is beautiful. It will go whether or not he wins another major, that will go down as one of the best shots in a major tournament play. And assuming, maybe he has a better career from here on out, but I'm sure that's going to go down as probably one of his best shots of his entire career. It's amazing.
right. So what's your read on this guy? Has he been in the scene? I know you said that it's only his second major golf appearance, but where was he before this? Where do you see him going after this? Do you see some of those intangibles that could carry him to even greater heights?
Well, I mean, that's the great unknown. He's so new. This is literally only his second major tournament appearance. So
Right.
we don't know. He could be, this could be a fluke. This could be something he got lucky in and he got hot at the right time. But maybe he's this good. He could be this clutch, and maybe he could be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I mean, his name mentioned in the same breath as three legends.
Yeah.
So
He's so young, 23. There's a lot of golf he could play.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that develops. Also, how do you like this? A 23-year-old, he wins $1.9 million for winning the PGA Championship.
There's no reason to get me upset, Rich.
How would you?
No, I mean, good for him. Good for him.
23 years old, and you're about to cash a $1.9 million check. Whew.
Man, I can't even imagine something like that.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, but he earned it. He played perfectly to close out the PGA Championship. And then another funny moment that I wanted to mention, which I also have on my Twitter feed, is he inadvertently dismantled the Wanamaker Trophy at the reception. Apparently, the cup that you get for winning the PGA Championship, it's called the Wanamaker Trophy. The top apparently comes off because it is a cup.
Okay.
So he held the cup, and I guess he kind of picked it up too fast, and the top flew right off. And it was just how appropriate for 2020. The first major golf winner, and he breaks the trophy right in the post-game ceremony.
That's on par for 2020.
There you go. So there you go. Perfect way to end my golf recap of the PGA Championship. If you missed out, I'm telling you, you got to at least watch Sunday. Sunday is so much fun because that's where you see guys rise, you see guys fall, you see guys choke. Remember Brooks Koepka? He had actually a pretty bad round on Sunday, which was rare to see. So, it's stuff like that. The pressure starts to either impact the players either in a good way or in a bad way, and it's fun to watch and see what they do. It's a blast. The next one is the U.S. Open, which got rescheduled. That will be in September. So that'll be the next one. Hey, the Masters is going to be in November, so this is 2020. Deal with it.
There's going to be snow on the golf course at some point.
Well, no, they're in Georgia. They don't get snow, so they're fine.
Well,
they'll be fine.
I don't know where they play golf, Rich.
That'll be fine. Don't worry about that. But yeah, the next one, U.S. Open in September. Can't wait for that to satisfy my golf tastes coming up.
Yeah. Well, because there's a distinct lack of other sports at the time.
That's right.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. So that's the sports. Let's move on to entertainment, where we've got some significant news.
Yeah, we got some really big news in entertainment. Really quick, I just want to get this announcement out of the way pretty fast off the top. Everybody who's been dying to go to the movies and see some new movies during the past 5-6 months, your prayers are about to be answered. AMC, the theater chain, is planning to reopen theaters. They're looking to open 100 locations on August 20th. That's in celebration of their 100th year as a theater chain. And as part of the celebration, They're charging 15 cents per ticket for that 1 day and 1 day only. 15 cents per ticket. That's incredible. It's supposed to resemble ticket prices from 1920. So that's their whole gimmick. The price only applies to legacy films. They gave examples of Black Panther and Empire Strikes Back were cited as examples.
Ooh, all
So
right.
there you go, Rich. August 20th, go see Empire Strikes Back in the theater for 15 cents. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
And
Uh,
risk getting coronavirus. All
and risk
right.
getting coronavirus. It's a risk reward. Um, which is, what this is the thing that alarms me about this is that they're coming back, they're opening back up, and they're doing it, I think, in a sort of dangerous way because this 15 cents thing is going to drive massive crowds to theaters to try and see movies on the cheap.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
kind of seems like you don't want to pack the theaters.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm a little leery about the whole thing. We'll have to see how it plays out. I have to assume that they have some protocols and procedures in place to try and mitigate, huge crowds, but we'll see. Um, as
I
for
think you're better off just watching Empire Strikes Back at home.
Yeah, look, if you have Disney Plus, you get it in 4K anyway. So
Yeah.
just
Cook, get your microwave your own popcorn, have your own
exactly.
drinks. Just
Yeah, exactly. Look, the ticket is only 15 cents, but the popcorn is still $10.
yeah.
So, and if you want a soda, forget about it. You have to mortgage the house. Um, but you might be wondering, what about, a wider reopening of theaters? AMC aims to have about two-thirds of its 600 locations open before Christopher Nolan's Tenet premieres in the US on September 3rd. So that's really the deadline that AMC has placed. They want to try and get as many theaters open before September 3rd so that people can go and see Tenet in theaters as it's intended to be seen. Rich, are you going to go out to the theaters to see Tenet? Are you going to play the waiting game and see how things play out?
Yeah, I'd be more. I would tend to hedge the risk and wait it out. I think. I
Yeah,
mean,
see how things go.
I know it's Christopher Nolan, and he's one of my favorite directors, but I think I could afford to give it some time.
Yeah, let the crowds die down, see how the reopening goes, see how people react to it, if there's, spikes or anything. This is how we have to approach big, you know, public events in this new world,
Yeah,
this new pandemic world. So just caution with everything that you do.
yeah.
So that's the plan to reopen theaters in America right now as it stands. We'll see if that goes as swimmingly as the NCAA season for football. Um, it's all just a waiting game. So
Yeah.
we'll keep you guys posted. But right now, August 20th, AMC will open up 100 locations, and then another about 300 or 400 before September 3rd.
Good
But
luck.
the, yeah, good luck, right? But the real news and entertainment this week is coming from the world of video games. We have a couple of big headlines to get through. First up, there's finally some news about next gen consoles. Xbox confirmed that the next Xbox Series X, will launch in November, and rumors indicate that it'll probably be around the 13th of November. And then we can also probably expect Sony's PlayStation 5 to launch around that same time, give or take a week or so. If the previous generation was anything to go by, they launched within a week of each other in mid November. So it seems like they're on track to do the same. Early reports in the year indicated that Sony was gearing up for as many as 10 million consoles at launch. They're expecting it to be a big launch for the PlayStation 5. Still no official word about a release day or pre-orders, which is kind of strange given that it's already, mid-August. We've got 3 months until the rumored, release. Um, Man, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this before with them holding the price and the release date so close to the chest.
Yeah.
It's making me think that either one or both of them are having production issues, or that the cost of the console is just astronomical. So we'll have to
Uh,
see. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe both.
I hope it's not the cost. That would I think deter a lot of people, especially anybody, that lost a job during the coronavirus.
Yep.
I don't think you can justify the purchase of a very expensive console in the middle of this.
Yeah, exactly. It would be very audacious for these companies to come out and be like, buy our $600 console in the middle of a pandemic. Alternatively, maybe people are desperate for new entertainment, new content, but the fact they haven't said anything, I don't know, makes me a little worried that we're getting this close. I mean, 3 months, that's like right around the corner in terms
Yeah.
of entertainment. Like they already have these things rolling off of production lines, hopefully. So you have to wonder, when's the word going to come down? Part of the other problem for Xbox specifically is that they also announced that their big flagship title, Halo Infinite, will miss the console launch. So that means they have no first party exclusives for launch. Microsoft is without a big blockbuster title, which is pretty much par for the course, again, a golf term, for Microsoft, whereas Sony has the next Spider Man game already lined up for the console launch. It's not looking good for Xbox, is it?
Yeah, that seems like a big misstep to have in the launch of your next generation, because that's a significant selling point as well. Because if you don't have a good tie-in game, then just stay on your old Xbox.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. There's no reason to upgrade, but it seems like that's what Xbox is going for. They're going for a more service approach. They want people to subscribe to Game Pass. They want people to subscribe to Xbox Live and make that service money. And so far, their marketing has been very much focused on, you know, you can still play all your old favorites and you can use your old peripherals, and like nothing much is changing except the console's just more powerful. Whereas Sony's like everything is different. The games are different, the hardware is different, the controllers are different. It two very different approaches to the next generation. Sony is very much, next gen is next gen, and Xbox is next gen is like a modification or an addition to the current gen.
Yeah, can I ask you? Does it,
Yeah,
since you mentioned the peripherals and the controllers, does it bother you that they announced that the PS4 controllers won't work on the PS5?
that's a great question. That's been getting a lot of stink recently because of the two different tacks that the console makers are taking. It doesn't bother me, because I mean, think about PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. Did you use a PlayStation 3 controller to PlayStation 4?
Right.
Um,
I know. I was really surprised that this got so much hate online.
it got a lot of traction online,
Like,
and
did you guys have a different system than I did? This is pretty much the standard MO. When you jump from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, each
right?
controller line is different. There's usually a different technological
I
advance that happens
exactly.
in the controller.
I
So,
remember PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. They sold adapters, so you could still use the controllers, but like again, that should have made people even angrier. That not only do you have to buy a new controller, but you have to buy an adapter to use the old ones. Um, and the thought that pops in my head is Nintendo. Look at their controllers.
they're not even the same when you jump.
The Wii was the little wand.
Yeah.
Then it was the Wii U, which was a tablet.
Yeah.
Then it was the Switch, which was a tablet and also wands and also controllers
But
and
it only
everything in
worked for
between.
that.
But it only works for that.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you couldn't take, why are there like bugs all over the place?
You got a bug
There-
problem.
yeah, I know. There was like an ant crawling on my computer.
You literally have a bug in your
I
computer.
have a bug in my computer. Yeah. God, I hope not. So back in the day, you couldn't ever take your old controllers forward to new consoles. So it was bizarre that there was that sort of backlash.
The bugs actually have an opinion. They're just held on the idea. Well, we really like our
The
Nintendos. We really like
the bugs have an opinion.
Stop dissing. That's it. That's like what they're as they're
Is that
scurrying
is
along.
that what they said?
Yeah, as they're scurrying along your keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Mike Costanzo, you're actually wrong. Yeah, I don't want to hear any more from you. You don't know anything. Go Nintendo. The ants are big Nintendo fans, apparently.
Apparently, those bastard ants. But anyway, yeah. So the ants' opinions aside, the internet was all, had their panties in a bunch over this one. They're in the middle of some real big Sony hate because Sony also announced, in collaboration with um, the Avengers game, that Spider-Man is going to be exclusive to the PlayStation console versions of the Avengers game. And people, again, were very critical of Sony, calling them anti consumer. So the combination of Spider-Man being exclusive and the controllers not working, all of a sudden Sony is anti-consumer. Rich, what do you think? Is Sony and PlayStation, are they being anti-consumer with these two moves?
I don't think so. I mean, it also makes sense too if you even remotely followed the Spider-Man story. Sony is going to defend its right to mass produce Spider-Man at all costs. That's why they paid for the rights for it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me that they would only limit the Spider-Man content to PlayStation.
Not to mention that Sony, the parent company, owns the film rights to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man has always been, remember, the font of the PlayStation 3 was the same font as the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Sony have always been closely linked. And while it's upsetting for Xbox fans that they don't get to play as Marvel's premier hero in the Avengers game, it is just one hero. You know, I mean, I don't know. I obviously I haven't played the game yet, so I don't know how big a deal it is for one character to not be in the game. Maybe it's a huge deal, but I just feel like a game that's about a superhero team, you have so many other heroes to choose from. I don't. I say that, but if Xbox got Spider-Man, I would probably be.
You would be an Xbox fan.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I would go that far, but I would probably be a little disappointed if I couldn't play as my favorite superhero. So I get that. I don't think it makes them anti-consumer though.
No.
Because this has always been the name of the game in the video game industry is exclusives.
Yeah.
Right? Every company is constantly trying to, like, it's like Mario and Sonic back in the day. And I know people are annoyed because companies are paying the developers to withhold content from other consoles, so it's a little bit different. But at the end of the day, Sony's making these moves for their consumers. So it's only anti-Xbox consumer, but it's pro PlayStation consumer. You know, they're doing these moves because they're doing an added benefit for their loyal fans that are going to own the console. They're trying to give people another reason to buy the console, buy the game on the console. It's business and it makes sense, you know?
Yep.
So I don't think it's anti-consumer. I think it's just the way that games have always worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, do you want to feel old?
Sure. I do every day, but go ahead. Really lay it on.
Remember in The Simpsons when Adam West guest starred and he had the little bit where he tells Bart and Lisa, I was the original Batman, and like they didn't believe him and stuff?
Yeah.
It was on, I think, Photoshop battles on Reddit. Someone took the exact same lines and put Tobey Maguire's face and said, I was the original Spider-Man. And it like all kind of fit, including the dancing. Why doesn't Spider-Man dance anymore? Because he danced in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's brilliant.
So there you go. Tobey Maguire is the new Adam West.
Tobey Maguire is the new Adam West.
Whether he likes it or not. Yep.
Yikes.
The mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
Speaking of how the mighty have fallen,
transition.
We do have a very important topic involving Mike's favorite entity, Apple. Mike, do you want to handle this?
You can see the background. There's the Mac in the background. I'm talking on a Mac. Yeah, I'll handle this. So this all happened today. It's wild. So this story encompasses entertainment because it talks about video games, it's technology, but it's also this weird like legal battle between huge behemoths in the entertainment industry. So Epic Games, who develops Fortnite, the big, massively popular battle royale game, they did something recently to trap Apple in an antitrust lawsuit by basically baiting them into removing Fortnite from the App Store. So what happened is, first, to understand this, you have to understand how these App Store works. So Apple's App Store, Google Play Store, anything where you purchase apps, usually the platform owner takes a small cut of it. So like games on the PlayStation Network or on Xbox Marketplace or the Apple App Store, um, that company takes like anywhere from a 15 to 30% cut of whatever's sold. Because of that, Apple doesn't allow apps to sell directly to consumer. It has to be through an in-app purchase through Apple's protocols so that Apple can get their cut. Well, what Epic did is they made it so that players could either buy in-app currency, in-game currency from the App Store or directly from the Epic Store, and that one at a lower price. So Apple was like, nope, you can't sell directly to them. You have to go through the Apple Store. And so they immediately took down Fortnite from the App Store, again, one of the biggest games. And Epic was prepared with an antitrust lawsuit and a huge PR campaign, hashtag free Fortnite, ready to go as soon as Apple took it off. So you know this was premeditated. And Apple took the bait. They removed the game, which sparked this whole thing.
Well, you knew Apple wasn't going to take this line down.
No, they weren't going to take this on the chin and be like, oh, well. So, they either had to be consistent and, take down all games that violated their policies, or they have to change their policies, which is what Epic is looking for. Epic's lawsuit isn't looking for monetary damages. They're asking courts to force Apple to change its App Store policies, to allow developers and content creators to sell directly to consumers instead of through in-app purchases, which would force them to pay that 30% back to Apple. This is a full-fledged PR campaign from Epic. They had an ad. They put out an ad that parodies Apple's famous 1984 ad. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the 1984 Apple ad when they introduced the Macintosh. They're basically saying we're going to end the dystopian, way that PCs work. We're going to introduce the Macintosh and make things all bright and new and shiny and fun and different. So Fortnite basically took that ad and repurposed it, saying that Apple is, now that dystopian figurehead. And it ends with the line, "Don't let 2020 be like 1984."
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're taking a huge shot at Apple right here.
Yeah.
So,
I thought it was appropriate to see, since we are doing now a video podcast, that we could show the ad. It's only 30 seconds, so it's pretty quick.
Might as well.
So here it is. This is the full Fortnite ad against Mike's Apple. Let's see the clip.
Today, we celebrate the anniversary of the platform unification directives. For years, they have given us their songs, their labor, their dreams. In exchange, we have taken our tribute, our profits, our control. This power is ours and ours alone. We shall prevail.
All right, and there you go. It ends with the hashtag free Fortnite. They've really had this planned out, hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, they had an ad ready to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more premeditated than that.
Yeah, they knew that Apple was gonna fight back on it, and I gotta admit, they came out guns blazing. Do you think this will actually result in Apple changing their policies?
You know what? It's interesting because this is definitely a crossroads, because it's not just Epic that's doing this. You also have Spotify jumping on Epic's side, calling out Apple's monolithic activities. You also have Microsoft announcing recently that they're going to stop testing Xbox Game Pass for iOS and Apple devices because of Apple's policies regarding games. They don't allow, again, developers to sell directly to consumers. Everything has to go through the App Store, which would make a game streaming app like Game Pass, not work given the policies. So Apple right now has to really consider whether they want to be a destination for people to play games. Because if you lose things like Fortnite, if you lose things like, Microsoft potentially bringing Game Pass to iOS devices and Apple devices, I mean, Game Pass lets players stream all sorts of Xbox exclusives. That would be a huge get for Apple. Play Halo on a Mac. Play a whole bunch of other big, AAA games on your Mac or your iPhone. So if they want to be a player in the game space, they have to seriously consider changing their policies. What's interesting, though, is that Google, of all people, also pulled Fortnite from their app store.
Yeah, they're partnering up with Apple.
Yeah, well, they pulled Fortnite for the same reason. They said that it went against their policies. They don't allow games to sell in-app purchases direct to consumers. So it's a very interesting battle lines that are being drawn here. Apple and Google versus, Spotify, Epic, and other game developers, and Microsoft. So being an Apple fan myself, you'd think that I'd be like, oh no, Apple's definitely doing the right thing. I disagree. I think Apple's doing the wrong thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, shocker, right?
Uh-oh. Mike, you're going to lose your Apple privileges.
I'm going to lose they're going to swoop in here and take my laptop and my phone back.
Yeah. We should change your background.
I have to change my background. Yeah, just get swapped out for like a Dell laptop.
Yeah, you're condemned for a lifetime of Dell.
Oh, please no. That's like a fate worse than like death or hell. No, but I think that Apple should change its policies. I'll say this: Apple, in terms of hardware and production design, top of the class. And I understand wanting to create a curated environment that makes it, every app you download is going to be safe. It's been vetted properly. You're not going to get malware. You're not going to get broken apps. Usually 99% of the time it works flawlessly, and that it's safe for your device. But it's not like Epic and Microsoft and Spotify and these game developers are like shady little one-person operations that are trying to steal your information. There's room for both. You can vet the app properly and also allow them to sell direct to consumer. You're still getting a huge cut of the money,
Yeah, but they need more.
But they need more. I know that's the crazy thing. And that's the thing. We have to keep this in perspective. Everyone's like, oh, support the little guys, support Epic. These are two multi-billion-dollar entities bickering over more billions of dollars. Fortnite alone made $1.2 billion on the App Store, but they want more.
Yep.
They want that 15% back. It's like, so while I disagree with Apple's policies, I'm also hesitant to be like, yeah, hashtag free Fortnite, support the little guy. This is the opposite of the little guy. These are two monolithic titans fighting it out for billions of dollars. It isn't about the small devs. This is about, the big devs making even more money. So it's a very interesting battle, and I'm very eager to see where it goes. I think that Apple should change some of their policies or allow a little bit more leeway with how they approach video games, at least on their platforms.
Yeah, basically I'm looking at this as the lesser of two evils. So because Apple is such a huge juggernaut, I'm going to root for Epic Games. Go for it. I hope you guys...
You're just looking for every excuse to bash Apple.
Yeah, I don't get the whole insane cult of Apple. So go ahead, take them down. Take them down a peg. They deserve it.
It's not a cult. They just make great products.
And it's a cult. All right, so there you go. All the entertainment news that we could fit there. But last but not least, we always have to get to a random odd news story.
That's right.
Just to end on something hilarious. And guess what, Mike? I need your help because we're going back to Florida.
All right. Who is this effing guy in Florida? It's Florida, and they're crazy.
You should have let that burp happen. That would have been hilarious to start that off. Like Florida is crazy.
Was it that obvious?
I heard a little bit of it. I heard like the beginning of it.
I had to, yeah, you cued me for the sound clip, and I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. hide the burp, hide the burp.
Hide the burp, yeah.
You see, you should have went for it.
I should have just gone for it, just let it rip.
That would have been a Florida aspect.
That would have been very Florida. If I had introduced Florida with
And it's crazy. I don't know.
Well, the next time I got one cooking up, I'll let it rip, okay?
When you got it cooking up, yeah.
I got it cooking up, yeah.
Good.
It's brewing.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
All right, so got a Florida story here to lift everyone's spirits here.
Okay.
Let me get my tag here. There we go. Make sure that we're labeling this right. A Florida man with multiple drunk driving convictions on his rap sheet is facing another DUI charge after police spotted him driving his lawnmower down a highway.
It's always the lawnmower. And why the highway? How do you even get the lawnmower onto the highway?
Right. I have a lot of questions. Yeah. How do you get the? How is there no cars blocking you from getting to the highway?
Yeah, you can't pick up enough speed to merge in a lawnmower.
Yeah. I mean, I know we have modern lawnmowers, and maybe they go a little bit fast, but they don't go
like
anywhere close
yeah.
to highway traffic.
No. Man.
48-year-old Paul Burke was pulled over. I don't know if you even want to call it being pulled over.
You know, actually, though, back up a second.
Yeah.
You should be allowed to do it, because if you can get a lawnmower onto a highway without getting yourself killed, you don't have mirrors, you don't have blinkers, you don't have any seat belts or safety equipment. You're like, like plugging along at 15 miles an hour as cars are racing by at 60, 70. You know what? Good for you.
Let him go.
You cheated death. You get to do whatever you want to do. Because I feel like 9 times out of 10, he's roadkill. So I don't know how he did it, but he deserves to live his fullest life.
So you think that he's so out there that he should get a pass?
Yes, basically.
Well, anyway,
you were gonna say?
Yeah, the cops didn't see it that way. They pulled him over last Thursday night as he drove on Highway 316 in Fort McCoy. Burke was riding a Husqvarna riding lawnmower.
I'm looking up all these things. Husqvarna.
I'm not familiar with lawnmower models, but apparently
look it up.
That's one. Husqvarna. There's a Q in there and a V. I don't know what. Okay. Why is there a brand name with a Q and a V in there? That seems weird to me.
Yeah, I know, that's really weird. So these apparently go for up to like $3,000.
Oh my God, that's enough for a car. Are you serious?
3,000? Yeah, I guess so. A cheap used car, yeah.
A $3,000 lawnmower?
Yeah.
Yeah, just get yourself a car. What the hell?
So this was a riding mower, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, you got pulled.
I'm gonna try and find some specs on these lawnmowers, see what their top speed is.
Yeah. For $3,000, it better be going a significant distance.
Okay, so their cheapest model is the TS142. It has 18.5 horsepower. I don't know what that converts to, but 18.5.
I don't know why. I randomly had an image now of 18 horses pulling like a simple, like a simple just crank mower. That's the equivalent.
Oh my God. That I would
They're all
love
just going.
to see that.
They're all just going on this lawn.
I would love to see that. So it has its maximum reverse speed. Speed reverse max is 2.2 miles per hour.
Why does it have the reverse speed and not the forward speed?
I don't know. There's no forward speed here. Drive method, pedal operated.
What is this? What is this? Ferris Bueller? You got to drive backwards?
Yeah, what is happening with this lawnmower? This website doesn't give me the information that I want to know. It comes with a steel hood, a rugged frame. Ooh. It has cruise control.
There you go.
Wait.
Just you don't really care how the lawn looks. Just put it in cruise control.
What is happening?
Wow.
Cruise control allows the tractor to maintain consistent speed, even in rough terrain. There's a whole world of lawnmowers, Rich.
Yeah.
that I just don't understand.
Yeah. So the cops noted that he was obviously not monitoring the 55-mile-per-hour speed limit on the highway.
No. No. Oh my God.
That's when Burke, who told a sheriff's office deputy who noted this in the police report, said that, quote, I do not have a driver's license, and that, quote, I maybe had a little too much to drink tonight.
Whoa.
You know, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, you're driving a lawnmower on the highway.
Just maybe. Okay, all right, maybe.
Maybe
I shouldn't have had the fifth beer. Maybe I should have saved the other 2 bottles in the 6-pack for another night.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh my God.
Well, the cop apparently wanted to extend the torturing here because he asked him to perform multiple field sobriety tests, at which point Burke just got frustrated and said, look, I'm on a lawnmower, just take me to effing jail.
Okay, this guy's officially awesome. I like how he tried to talk his way out of it, and then he realized, like, you know what, this is just too much effort. Just take me to jail.
Yeah, all right.
I'm on a lawnmower.
You're making me do all these exercises. You're making me say the alphabet backwards. You're making me do a cartwheel. F you. Just take me to jail.
Do a cartwheel?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell the field sobriety tests are anymore. There's probably 8 million of them that you got to do.
Do some mild gymnastics for me.
Yeah. You must complete 5 jumping jacks without falling over or something.
Oh God, I can barely do that sober.
Yeah. So that's when he was arrested. Unfortunately, due to his multiple prior DUI convictions, Burke was actually charged with felonies.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you have a history of this, we can't play around. He was released after he posted an $11,000 bail. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, he's gonna need some more money. And also, of course, as customary, I have his mugshot. So there he is attending the Flyers game.
There he is. He's on the ice. Oh my
God!
God!
No, he got out on the ice. How'd that happen? He's drunk. He has no idea what's happening.
He confused his lawnmower for the Zamboni.
Yeah, he's driving the Zamboni. He fell off the Zamboni.
He fell.
Sorry, Burke. You had a good run.
So, I found out something interesting about these lawnmowers.
Great. What?
I'm like really into them. So, they're top of the line model. There's 2 variants. There's the standard and the California model.
Ooh, California.
Ooh. The
Fancy.
California model goes for $3,700.
Why?
But it can drive in reverse at 2.5 miles per hour.
Why?
Husqvarna.
What are you doing, Husqvarna?
Husqvarna. What is the California variant? What does that mean?
You got a Q and a V in your name. What are you doing? That would be a horrible Wheel of Fortune puzzle.
Well, isn't U always supposed to follow Q?
Apparently not in this case. It's a V.
This has got to be a different
Husqvarna.
Different language. Is that a robot?
Good. Have a robot cut your lawn. There you go. Fantastic.
Rich, I think they have a Roomba for lawn cutting.
Yeah, they do. I've seen that.
Oh my God. This is amazing.
Oh yeah.
All-wheel drive up to a 35-degree slope.
Oh yeah, they have that.
Wow.
I thought you were talking about an actual like robot that was coming out to clip the hedges.
No, it's a Roomba for cutting. Oh my God.
Like it's the robot from Rocky 4. He's just like clipping the hedges. By the way, why does Rocky have a robot? Nobody ever explained that. That's why Rocky 4 is one of the best movies ever.
Yeah, wait. Why does he have a robot?
Nobody explained why. He has a robot.
Nobody knows. Oh my God.
Rocky 4 was every movie trope of the 80s thrown together with Sylvester
robots
Stallone.
And Russians. And
Yeah.
That was the Russian one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that like synthesizer music. Oh yeah, it's so glorious.
That's why you love that one so much.
Yeah.
Because it's like all the DNA of the 80s right there.
Oh yeah. Everybody needs to watch Rocky 4 at least once, just so you can see the craziness,
the absurdity,
all the cocaine that the film producers took for that movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Next they're going to be driving lawnmowers on the highways.
Yeah. Well, that's if they do a Florida version of Rocky or something. But
now there's an idea.
There you go. 2020 wouldn't surprise me. But there you go. That is our odd news story of the week. Okay, so we're about to start wrapping it up. Mike, do you have any apocalypse activities that you want to tell people about in the upcoming weekend? Keep an eye on?
Yeah, just a repeat from previous weeks. Watch those Emmy-nominated TV shows and series. I recently jumped into Watchmen on HBO. Really, I watched the movie first, which I've been meaning to do for the past decade. And the movie was fantastic. I watched about the first 2 episodes of the series, so I'm still, very early on, but I really like it. It's, immediately I can see how there's threads that are relevant to today's society and the issues that today's society are facing. But it's still got that like dark, vibe to it, that dark tone to it. And it's just a lot of fun, a lot of action. The dialogue is pretty punchy. It's just so far 2 episodes really early on, but I'm really liking the world, the alternate history version of the United States where Robert Redford is president. And, they have the poster of like the 4 great American presidents. It's like Washington, Lincoln, Nixon, and Robert Redford.
Yeah. I love that bit that in the Watchmen universe, Nixon got elected 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. It's just really cool little. I'm always a fan of alternate history stuff because it's just interesting. It's fun to think about how things could have gone had they not gone a different way.
Yep.
So yeah, really eager to finish that. So that's what I'm trying to watch right now as much of the Emmy nominated stuff as possible. After that, I'll probably try Succession.
Yeah.
I watched all the comedies basically, so I'm good to go with that. That's, what else are you going to do?
Well, one thing you can do is shop.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to tell everybody right now, Amazon, if you love your Echo devices, Amazon is doing a trade-in program right now.
Oh.
Yeah, right? How do you like this for an apocalypse activity? So
Okay.
if you have an old Echo Dot or some other previous form of smart device that you may have had for a while and maybe you think, you could use an upgrade somewhere else around the house, if you trade in that old product, you get 25% off of the new one that you buy.
That's a pretty good deal.
That's a pretty good deal.
25%, yeah.
So yeah, you can get one of the bigger shows, or you could get one of the Echoes. There's a lot of options. So yeah, I caught that deal the other day. So it's worth your time.
Is it still going on? I'm about to do it right now.
Yep, it's still going on. So if you're looking for a quick upgrade to your smart home system and you use Amazon, there you go. That's your answer. So
nice.
That's a quick little tidbit for you for apocalypse activities.
There you go.
All right, and with that, we got to start wrapping up the show. We're well over our hour time, so it's time to wrap this up. Thank you guys for tuning in on another crazy episode. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you're following us on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that lovely nonsense.
Yeah. You can also subscribe to our channel on YouTube where you get the videos of these podcasts now. And if you want to get the audio version of the podcast, you can subscribe to it on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. You get the latest episodes downloaded for free every week. So make sure you find us on either YouTube or one of your podcast services. We're everywhere.
Yep. We also have a SoundCloud page where you have the mini noodles, the best bits of the show. shrunk down into a 2-minute promo clip that you can easily listen to with friends and family. The craziness that is the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right. So many ways to get in touch with us and share the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But if you want to get in touch with us individually on Twitter, so you can share your sports, entertainment, and odd news stories with us that we could potentially cover on the show, you can find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I'm at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on the Twitters. Let us know what's happening. And if there's a topic you want us to discuss, let us know. Send it our way. If there's an odd news story, send it my way. And we'll give you a Crispy Noodle shout out if you inspire us on a topic of your choosing. So let us know what you want to hear on the next week's episode. But yeah, we are over the limit now, so it is time to wrap it up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Well, it's been the Crispy Compact Communiqué, the new form of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Anything else, Mike?
No, that's it. Everybody stay safe and stay cool.
That's right. So that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. See you guys later. Bye-bye.